I'm busy studying child and adolescent development in my psychology course, and one of the specific points that they mention here with regards to children and their development growing up and what kind of factors influence a child and who they become is, for example, poverty. So they will mention here that poor children are more likely to have emotional or behavioral problems, and that their cognitive potential or even school abilities can, suffer due to them coming from an environment where they don't have their basic needs provided. Now, what is very interesting here, which I would like to discuss, is the fact that they then give reference to the following. They say that, living in an environment where people are unemployed, the parents are unemployed, parents are on welfare, makes it less likely for effective social support for the child, which has an effect on, obviously, on how the child grows up, their self-view, their self-value, which means that the majority of the time the child grows up repeating the patterns of the parents and becoming their parents, meaning, following the same pattern. So then they give reference here to Oprah Winfrey and Bill Clinton. They say that the resilience of such people as Oprah Winfrey and former President Bill Clinton, who rose from poverty and deprivation to high achievement, show that positive development can occur despite serious risk factors. Now, this information that they are trying to present here as something for children to look forward to is misdirected and taken out of context in relation to the reality of what happens to people. Meaning, if the reason why Oprah Winfrey became a billionaire is because she became a host to a talk show that was focused on a specific market of people who want to watch specific emotional and thought pattern experiences of people, locking people who watch programs like Oprah want to watch mind-numbing bullshit for an hour, where all that Oprah is doing is she is regurgitating that which entertains the mind. So her talk show, for example, is about fame, beauty, come on, you can do it, you can better yourself. It looks very glamorous, but if you actually look at what it is that it's somebody who's become extremely wealthy off playing off the weaknesses of human beings, instead of Oprah actually standing up for life and actually implementing self-education type, you could say, modalities or opportunities in the world that will empower people to become her equals. So she's not interested in, for example, taking on the money system. She became filthy rich off people watching her reality show because she goes in circles with people's emotional problems. So she will endorse people's emotional problems, and she is actually endorsing things like poverty, abuse, social problems, inequality, people feeling powerless, because as long as game shows and reality talk shows exist like the Oprah Winfrey show, people will never change, because her talk show is focusing on giving people something to watch about other people. So it makes you, as the watcher, feel better about yourself because you get to watch Oprah have a beautiful show about how to lose weight and what kind of foods to cook to feel better, and beautiful prizes, buy a ticket to the Oprah show and you can win this car. And it's just going round and round in circles where it deals with hope, it deals with, for a moment, people feel better. Most of the tools which she presents on her show are completely useless, and the average person watching the TV show can't even use it. And if the occasional person watching the show does have this light bulb moment where they go, wow, yes, you're right, Oprah, being fat doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Maybe she reaches a handful of people who are fortunate enough to have a television to sit and watch the Oprah Winfrey show, but it does not come close to taking on the actual world problems. Because otherwise, if Oprah Winfrey used, she's obviously within the system, she's a fairly intelligent person. The people who create and endorse her show are obviously fairly intelligent people. And you want to tell me that Oprah has never considered that for her to actually make a change in the world, she actually has to look at the socio-economic problems behind why there is world suffering. Why do people experience themselves the way they do? Because of the existing world systems of which she plays a part. She became filthy rich exploiting the experiences of people instead of actually giving solutions. So now they're giving that as a reference point. So they're trying to say here, oh, it's okay. I'm referring now to my psychology book. They're saying it's okay for youngsters to grow up in abusive, poverty type of environments, because as long as there's Oprah Winfrey and Bill Clinton for them to use as martyrs and examples, it's okay. The Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey and others like them show what can happen, that you can rise up from poverty and you can become a better person. This is now what they are teaching us in our psychology books. That we don't have to fix the core problem, so that we don't have to repeat the cycle of poverty until there's nothing left of this planet and, eventually mankind destroys itself in the name of the money system. We can use this point of hope as Oprah Winfrey and Bill Clinton. Children can look forward to maybe eventually one day, if I apply myself in school and I place myself there in the system and I work hard and I get a good job and I stick to it and I do whatever the system tells me to do and I produce money and I spend money, then maybe one day I can also better myself and end up in a job position where I get recognized for who I am, which basically means recognized for who you are within the system means you are working in a job where you exploit others and you make money. Just like Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey. They exploit, they don't actually present livable solutions to the world problems which are equal for everybody. Every country can implement it, every person can implement it within themselves, within their environment, within their homes. They're not interested in that, because look at who they have become. Their entire functionality within the system exists to keep the world problems in place. Look at it for yourself using the equality equation of 1 + 1 = 2. Take the Oprah personality, write it out for yourself before you even comment on this video about how wonderful these people are and they're martyrs and they've prevented world wars and they've kept the peace and Oprah really helps people and she gives them Kentucky Fried Chicken. Before you even comment like that, please to actually write down Oprah Winfrey's personality and what she stands for within the system, and you can see for yourself using a simple equality equation that what she stands for. Same with every single president that has ever existed, especially these big presidents of your first world countries like America, who apparently are everybody looks at America as being, one of the strongest countries, and the president of that country is like the person who can possibly find a solution or stand for some kind of point or principle, yet they've done nothing. Everything is still revolving around the capitalist system, and the president of such a country is only there to tiptoe around and to entertain the public. Oh, look here, I prevented this war. Hey, look what I'm doing here. I'm running a campaign against child abuse. All of it is side shows to keep humanity entertained, because humanity doesn't actually want to look for themselves and see that there is a problem and that nobody who is in a position of power is going to do anything about it. So it's the time for the people who see, but wait a minute, these personalities are these sparkly bright lights. I mean, Oprah Winfrey is this little bright light, just like Lady Gaga and Paris Hilton and Britney Spears. Look at them within the system and your experience of them. They are these sparkly little Christmas lights that twinkle in the sky, and you become fixated on them and what they stand for apparently within the system. And they're always good people and they're wonderful. Why? Because they have money. How did they get money? They exploit the world system as it is. Also, if you look at the entire experience of watching game shows and talk shows and even reading the newspaper, reading a magazine, the entire experience that people go through is like that of participating at a casino, which is basically, the programming that we've allowed ourselves to accept within ourselves is the point of switching on the television or opening that magazine, and there's this one shot at winning the big time. It's like Oprah, for example, within her application, she offers you that one opportunity, that one secret goal that you desire, to be thinner, richer, fatter, beautiful, whatever it is that you desire within yourself, that's what she represents. So, the game show starts or the talk show starts, and there's the music and the bright lights, and they have Oprah like coming out from, the back, and everybody stands up and they start cheering. So it's creating this entire impulsing effect, which generates energy within the person who is watching it. Within that, they are designing the media. Through the media, the point is being designed for people to be expecting this great win, to expect that something really great is going to happen. And through this entire hype that gets created, the applauding and the music and the prizes, and Oprah is arriving and guest star for today is, and everybody gets up and they applaud and they scream and cheer, and that's generating a hype around the very simple basic point, which actually is being discussed as this, famous person, how they're doing in their lives. But the entire hype that's being created around the famous person as they arrive, as they walk onto the stage, as they take their seat, all of that hype that's being created is deliberate in its design. It's to create and endorse the entire human experience of the jackpot, of I must get this one thing, this is my one opportunity, and if I don't get it, I lose out. So you can look at as well the political system with Bill Clinton as an example. All they are doing is they are creating hypes about things. They are having, for example, they'll give a presentation or a speech where they're going to do these great things, and we protect the country and we take a stand against child abuse, and what happens within you is that you get swept up in the energy of, yes, they're going to do it, this is the jackpot, this is it. But completely the practical point that has to be walked by humanity and by the president and every single person participating is completely skipped. Can you see how it jumps from, you start watching and as like the jackpot machine, you're playing the machine and the thing starts spinning and the music is playing and there's lights flashing and it's getting you worked up to this one point. There's completely no physical, practical application happening. And that's basically what the media is producing. Everything is flashy and shiny, and nothing is brought to a point of, okay, for us to change the world problems, we recognize this and that has to change. These are the solutions. This is what each person will have to apply. This is what we'll have to change. The government has to change this. As people, we have to apply ourselves in this way. That would be actually identifying the physical, practical steps and walking them. But instead, we've allowed ourselves to be programmed through the fear of loss point, which is if I don't get something in life, then something bad's going to happen to me. I can't feed my family. I'm not going to be beautiful. Nobody's going to notice me. I'm not going to be special for this lifetime. And that all of these famous people and all of these experiences that we give value to are the ultimate jackpot point. And this is creating the polarity point that people move between fear of loss, feeling bad about yourself, and allowing oneself to get hyped up for rather inconsequential things. I mean, you know, as I mentioned before, what Oprah Winfrey represents is like light shows and, you know, completely useless in relation to the world problems. She's not actually representing any solutions. So another thing to consider here in relation to that point is, for example, that if everybody became Oprah Winfrey and Bill Clinton, it wouldn't be such a special thing. Yet, even within our psychology books, they give special emphasis that people can, you know, better themselves out of the slums, out of poverty, to maybe one day become somebody like Oprah Winfrey. Now, that is saying that, you know, that is completely removing the practicality, and because if every single person had to become Oprah Winfrey, then Oprah Winfrey wouldn't be so special and Oprah Winfrey wouldn't be a billionaire. How about every single person just becoming self-sustaining, supported, have a roof over their heads, have food to eat, they can support their family, they have a dignified life? How about we suggest that as a practical, commonsensical solution for everybody, instead of looking at the celebrities and saying, you know, the wealthy ones, we want to be like them. Because one out of, a billion, million, 500 million people can actually elevate themselves to that status of Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey. The rest of humanity cannot. I mean, if you look at it for yourself, that cannot happen. Yet emphasis will be placed on that being special instead of, you know, equal rights, a dignified life, food, clothing, you know, a life that can be lived by all. So that is my perspective on that, and thank you very much.